Welcome, everybody, to another SummerSlam predictions video, this time hosted by your longest reigning wrestling trivia challenge champion, the Pennsylvanian sensation, Greg Cherry. And joining me today, we have two people who have faced me before and two people who are a part of the No DQ crew. First of all, let me introduce Cindy. Cindy, how's it going today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having me again, and so far, pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better now. Got to come to term that not only I'm the worst wrestling trivia challenger in history, but also the first ever wrestling trivia challenger as a female itself. And how about you, Jeff?
Big G is here. I am doing wonderful. Enjoying this hot, humid Maryland day. Am I psyched for SummerSlam? Not really, but I have low expectations. Hopefully, it'll exceed my expectations.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, we have what appears to be 12 matches on the card so far. It might be 13.
It's 13.
13.
I didn't have the entire card in my screen there, but we will get to all 13 of those. And let's start with the three matches on the kickoff. First of all, we have a mixed tag team match, Rusev and Lana taking on Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. This match should be interesting. I don't think it's going to be a technical classic by any stretch of the imagination. We know how good Rusev and Almas both are, and Lana's been surprisingly good as well, and Zelina Vega is incredibly talented. She used to be in Impact Wrestling. So, starting off with Big G, what are your thoughts on this match, and what's your prediction?
I think this will be a fun match. You know, they are in Brooklyn, so they'll obviously be behind Lana and Rusev with the Lana Day and Rusev Day chants. I could see Aiden English interfering somehow. I don't know in what form. He could end up helping Rusev and Lana. He could end up helping Almas and Zelina. But I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going with Rusev and Lana to pick up the win. Cindy, what do you think?
Well, I think this is going to be one of a very interesting match per se. I mean, it all started out with the whole beef with Zelina and Lana, and then you got Andrade and Rusev getting involved, just having both of these ladies back so far. And regarding the whole situation with Rusev, Lana, and Aiden English goes, I mean, there is going to be a rumor chance that Aiden English is going to turn babyface and going against Rusev and Lana. And you've seen in past episodes SmackDown Live that how that Aiden did cost Rusev and Lana's singles match against Andrade and Zelina. And you can see how that both Lana and Rusev are very upset with Aiden English. And so with this whole situation of this match goes, I have a feeling that Aiden's going to be the one that's going to try and help Rusev and Lana out, but he's definitely going to be causing the match on purpose. So for my pick, I'm choosing El Idolo, Andrade Cien Almas, and La Muñeca, Zelina Vega. What about you guys?
That's a very good pick, and I have to agree, Cindy. I think Almas and Vega are going to pick up the victory here. Whether or not Aiden English turns as a result of this, or whether he just makes a mistake and is trying to make it up to Rusev, I still see Almas and Vega picking up the win here. Next up, let's go with the Cruiserweight Championship match. We have the champions, Cedric Alexander, taking on Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship, again on the kickoff. And, I don't know if it's the Cruiserweight Championship, the fact that 205 Live isn't doing as well as the other shows, but it seems like the Cruiserweight Championship is getting a little bit jobbed out being on the kickoff yet again. Maybe that's just my opinion, but Cindy, what are your thoughts on this match going into Sunday?
Well, I feel like with the Cruiserweight title match, it's always going to be on the kickoff pre-show match because, nobody hasn't even tuned into 205 Live yet, and I haven't even watched 205 Live, in months now. I would say after Mania, and that's the only time that I've watched it so far. And so I know there has been, a whole controversy going on with the past tweet that Cedric made, years ago, but he already issued an apology, so it kind of sets, this whole like situation that's going on affecting with his run as a cruiserweight champion. And I did follow briefly on Drake Maverick's Instagram TV on Instagram of the contract signing between Cedric and Drew so far, and they're having like a pretty decent feud. But for me, I'm very high up to Drew Gulak. I mean, he was supposed to be kind of like having a beef with Enzo Amore, but then when Enzo got fired for like what the accusation that's been happening in the past, like Drew Gulak has been like one of those top heels in 205 Live, especially with his political gimmick. So for my pick, and I feel that it's time that there's going to be a title switch going on. So my pick is going to be Drew Gulak to be the new Cruiserweight champion.
Well, to be honest, like Cindy, I haven't watched 205 Live in a very long time. I'll catch the YouTube clips here and there. I've seen Drew's been doing pretty good as a heel. He's been teaming up with the Brian Kendrick and the gentleman Jack Gallagher. And Cedric's been champion since WrestleMania now. So I think this will be a good match between them. You know, Cedric with his high-flying stuff and Drew with his technical stuff. I'm going to agree with Cindy here. I think it's time for a new champ. So Drew is going to win the Cruiserweight Championship and make a better 205 Live.
Right, and I agree with both of you. I think Drew Gulak is going to become the new Cruiserweight champion. Whether or not the tweets have anything to do with that, or they just feel like they need a new direction for 205 Live, remains to be seen. And if they keep the championship on Cedric Alexander, I'd like to see an Alexander versus Leo Rush match in the future. I think that'd be fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right, the final kickoff match we have is for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Revival challenged the B Team. And who would have thought in 2018 that Axel and Dallas would be on such a roll?
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't like their new theme. As a college football fan and as a football fan in general, I like it. It kind of, and I saw people on Monday like chanting along with the go, go, go for the B Team. So I feel like they are the baby faces in this. It's kind of a silent turn, but if they're facing the Revival, who are known heels, and I'm actually going to go first here, and I'm going to pick the B Team to retain. As much as people want to say, oh, the Revival deserve this, I still don't think on the main roster the Revival have really gotten their chance to shine, and this is kind of a thrown-together match from the match that happened on Monday. So I'm going with the B Team to retain. Big G, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to agree with you. Both big football fans. I did like their theme song, Battle of Scars, when they first came out, but then obviously they changed it to B Team, go, go, go. And who would have thought, like you said, in 2018, B Team being tag team champions, being, I guess, on the pay-per-view, even though it's a kickoff match. Revival really hasn't done anything, like you said, either. You know, they were good down in NXT, and then they came up to the main roster, and they were completely forgotten for a while until recently. So I'm going with the B Team to retain as well, and then possibly the night after is when the Revival will win the tag team titles.
Okay, so Nick.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with both of you guys. I mean, with the B Team's theme music, I'm actually excited for their new theme entrances. Like, it kind of brings me kind of like the high school football feel. And plus, I do watch sports too. Niners fan, sorry. But as the tag team champion, I mean, it is kind of in a mixed feelings about it. I'm actually happy for Bo Dallas, who actually have his first main roster title win since his debut in the main roster in 2014. And so I could have been more happy for him, especially, and for Curtis Axel as well. I mean, he was the past tag team champion before, and he was a one-time IC champ. But I would say this. I mean, this is just going to be another throwaway match just to add it in, especially with the Revival. They only been so good in NXT, but then in the main roster, they're doing it pretty poorly, especially with their setbacks of the whole injury that's going on in the past, and now they're booked as jobbers until they got a title opportunity against the B Team. I think it's just gonna be just one of those quick kickoff pre-show match that's just gonna be like a finish to the end. So for my pick, it's just gonna be the B team to retain the title, and hopefully they better have like a next challenger for like the Raw Tag Team division, because as of now, like, number one, the heels in the Raw brand is pretty lackluster, and so is the tag team division. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue that. As far as the tag team championship, I said a few weeks ago I would have preferred a tag team turmoil with these two, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, Titus Worldwide, and the Authors of Pain. Just the 5 of them in tag team turmoil. I think that would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Possibly could have been new life to the Raw tag team division. But as we say here, it is what it is.
Yeah.
To the main show we go.
Yep.
We have the United States Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Jeff Hardy. Cindy, we'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on this match, and who do you think will win?
Well, this is going to be another interesting match between Shinsuke and Jeff. And so far, we do have, it's like a storyline where Randy Orton's added to the mix as well. So my gut feeling is that I feel that Orton's going to be interfering on that match. And he's probably going to be costing Jeff the match so far. So for my obvious pick, it's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura to retain the title, and then we'll see another Orton versus Jeff Hardy feud, possibly leading up to Hell in a Cell.
All right, Jeff.
All right, well, we've seen Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy a couple times already, too. Yeah. Jeff Hardy's my boy and everything. And here's what I think is going to happen. Somehow Orton is going to interfere in the match and try to help Nakamura, but Hardy's going to overcome both of them. He's going to take out Orton, and he'll take out Nakamura to regain the U.S. title, and then continue his feud on with Orton and Nakamura, and eventually, if they still do Clash of the Champions or whatever, they'll have a triple threat match for the U.S. title there. So I'm going with Hardy to win.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do a triple threat here. I mean, they have a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's Championship, so that may be why. But with Orton really taking front and center in the feud, I don't know why they didn't just put him in the match or just have Nakamura defend against somebody other than Jeff Hardy and have Jeff Hardy and Orton at SummerSlam as the dog barks.
Yep.
So he agrees.
Yeah, my dog agrees too.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to pick Shinsuke Nakamura to retain straight up in this match.
And so the dog agrees with you.
Yes, yeah. Clearly. The big dog. Ooh-ah. All right. We have next up, as I just spoke about the triple threat for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Carmella defends against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Big G, going to get your thoughts on this match first. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Well, this storyline's been, pretty good, compelling. You had Becky beat Carmella to get her opportunity, and then you had Charlotte get her opportunity against Carmella, and she won. So, from a singles match to a triple threat match, Carmella, she's done pretty good as champ right now. But I think Becky needs this win a lot more than Charlotte does. Charlotte, she can do good on her name just with her name by herself, with the Flair name. Carmella can go on and do whatever Carmella does because she's a diva. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Becky to win and win the women's title back for the first time in 2 years.
Cindy, your thoughts?
Well, at first, like when Becky did beat Carmella and be the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title, I'm very excited. I mean, she haven't won a title since she won the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion back in 2016. So this is going to be like one of the interesting match that I'm excited for until that they added Charlotte Flair to the mix and then making it as a triple threat match for the title. I have a feeling that, well, I'm going to say for my pick and then it's going to explain what's going to happen afterwards. So, I'm not a huge fan of Carmella as a champion, of course, and I'm glad that Charlotte did call her out, calling her the diva, and Carmella is actually proud of that. Which, yeah, she is a diva, but not like as a true women's superstar. Yeah, she is technically good in a mic, and her ring ability still needs a little bit of work so far. But like the way that WWE's booking her as a champion is kind of seems to be a bit lacklustering as well. So for my pick for who's going to be the SmackDown Women's Champion, it's definitely going to be Becky Lynch. And I would say after Becky won the title, I'm sensing that there's going to be a heel turn on Charlotte Flair. And so once Becky won the title, that's when Charlotte's going to turn. Because we haven't seen a heel turn from Charlotte Flair since she debuted on SmackDown Live last year. And that's when she went complete babyface and all that. So that's how it's going to happen. What about you, Greg?
So you think Charlotte is going to turn on Becky? Is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely. I mean, there has been like a hint of a teaser going on, especially with that last promo between Charlotte and Becky on last episode of SmackDown Live. And you can see that there's like a sense that there's going to be a turn that's going to happen. And so, and who knows? We may see Becky versus Charlotte at Evolution for the title.
That'd be a really good match. I predicted in our little chat, I predicted Charlotte Flair, and for TJS's sake, I'm going to stick with that, so I don't confuse them by picking two different people. But I have this gut feeling that Carmella is going to retain. I don't know why, but perhaps the triple threat will actually benefit her, and she'll come in and steal the win, and people will be like, "Oh, she's still champion. I can't believe this." But right now, I'm picking Charlotte to win the championship, and I guess we'll see what happens this Sunday. Next up, we have Daniel Bryan challenging The Miz, and I think we've been looking to this. This match has really been building up since the Talking Smack interview 2 years ago when Daniel Bryan still wasn't cleared to wrestle. But now that he is cleared, it's happening. It's finally going to happen. The storyline for this is really built in with everything they've gone through together. So, Cindy, I want to get your thoughts on this first. Who do you think is going to win, and what are your thoughts on the storyline as a whole?
Well, first of all, this is going to be one of the matches that I'm actually very looking forward to it ever since that whole Talking Smack interview and the promo that Miz is putting through. This is by far like one of the best storyline has been built for the past 2 years, and now that Daniel is finally cleared to wrestle, like 2 weeks before WrestleMania 34, it kind of shows that, like, with this whole, like, ego between The Miz as supposed to be Daniel Bryan's mentor, when NXT used to be kind of like a reality game show, and Daniel Bryan as the indie darling underdog who made it into NXT, and he could see, like, how The Miz is acting out. So far, with the storyline, it actually built perfectly well, like 8 years in the making, but to me, it's 2 years in the making since the whole Talking Smack promo so far. So for my pick of this match, and I'm going to have to go with someone that can definitely take The Miz's crap, it's going to be Daniel Bryan to be the one that's going to win the match.
All right. Big G.
So, like Cindy said, this all started back in 2010 when The Miz was Daniel Bryan's mentor in the original NXT. And since then, Miz and Bryan had their feud going on. They fought against each other for the U.S. title back in 2010. Move 6 years forward, we had a Talking Smack segment, where pretty much The Miz got in Daniel Bryan's face, and you saw Daniel Bryan going off. And thank God he walked off, because he could have punched The Miz in the face if he wanted to, but he didn't. So 2 years forward, we have Daniel Bryan back in the ring. Storyline is awesome. I enjoy it. I am looking forward towards this match as well. I think this will be one of the matches of the night, but I like Daniel Bryan, but if they have a series of matches, I think The Miz is going to win this match. That's who I'm going with.
And you know what, Big G, I'm actually going to agree with you. I think The Miz is going to pull out this victory. It seems too early for Daniel Bryan to win the match because I feel like that would be the end of the feud if he did that. If Daniel Bryan won this one, he has nothing to prove to The Miz.
Yep.
Or maybe The Miz comes back. I don't know, but I'm going with The Miz to win this one. And I actually think this match could open the show, like open the main show.
Okay.
Just to get the crowd started off hot. So that's my prediction. Next up, we're going with the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre in his corner, facing off against Seth Rollins with a recently returned Dean Ambrose in his corner. I'm going to start this one. I'm probably going with the obvious scenario here, which a lot of people have speculated about, and I think it's a good time for it to happen. I'm predicting Dolph Ziggler to retain via a Dean Ambrose heel turn on Seth Rollins near the end of the match. I wanted to get it out there just so it's not like, oh, it's a big surprise. We actually might all be thinking it, but I'm going with that one as the big heel turn of SummerSlam. Because it seems like there's a big babyface or heel turn at SummerSlam every year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dean is going to be this year's Big G.
Well, I'm going in the opposite direction. I know everybody wants to see an Ambrose heel turn. Yeah, he came back. He's back. You know, he cut his hair. He's got the beard. He looks in the best shape of his life.
He's jacked.
I mean, he's jacked. When I saw him, I popped, But anyways, Ziggler and Rollins are going to have a good match like they did at Extreme Rules. Thank God it's not a Iron Man match. But they're going to go at least a good 20, 25 minutes in this. Ambrose and McIntyre will get involved somehow. They'll fight outside the ring. Ziggler will get distracted from this, and Rollins is going to regain the IC champ or the IC title, and maybe eventually down the road we'll see an Ambrose heel turn. But at the moment, they need good tag teams, and before Ambrose got hurt, they were a decent tag team. So I'm sticking with my gut with Rollins winning the IC title back.
All right, Cindy.
Well, me and my dog from downstairs agree with you, Jeff, that with this whole situation with Seth and Dolph, it seems like it's still continuing on with the feud ever since Extreme Rules. And so for having Drew McIntyre getting involved and the returning Dean Ambrose, who is lookingly fine as hell. That's my opinion. Hey, I'm a girl. I can see whatever I want. But,
you're good.
For what's going to happen with this match, and I have to say I agree with you, Jeff, there is going to be some interference going on where Ambrose and McIntyre are definitely going to, fight off outside of the ring, and Dolph is going to be, getting distracted. And so for my pick, it's definitely going to be Seth Rollins to be the new IC champion. And regarding with the whole Dean Ambrose heel turn, he's not going to turn heel at SummerSlam, but the Go Host show on Raw, he's definitely going to turn heel on and attack Seth Rollins. Whatever, if it's a promo or probably a impromptu match that Seth Rollins is going to have with some other superstar. So my pick, Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose heel turn will be on Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Yeah, I figured everybody was thinking Dean Ambrose heel turn this Sunday, but I guess I'm the only one in here. So, again, we'll see what happens. But
we got to think like WWE, WWE, they want us to think a heel turn, but then they won't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to stop going with, solid booking ideas and go with, hey, what would WWE do instead?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a knock on the creative team. Don't at me, Road Dogg. That's not his fault. He's on SmackDown.
Yeah,
the next match is... This match also might open the show just because of the implications of the match. Braun Strowman taking on Kevin Owens. And if Braun Strowman loses in any capacity, whether by pinfall, submission, countout, or disqualification, he loses the Money in the Bank briefcase to Kevin Owens. This one is really the hardest for me to predict because I know what I want to happen. I know how I would want to book this. And again, we just talked about this. how would WWE do it? So I am going to pick Braun Strowman to retain his briefcase, and whether he cashes in will remain to be seen. We'll get to that prediction a little bit later on. Cindy, go ahead with your prediction for this match.
Well, when I found out about the speculation of that match, I was like, really, WWE? Are you trying to throw like a whole curveball there? And this is going to be like one of the hardest picks to choose from, but I'm going to go stick with what I know in logic and how the outcome's going to turn. So for my pick, is going to be Strowman to retain his Money in the Bank contract holder briefcase, whatever you can call it. But we'll talk about like the whole, if it's going to be a cash in or not, once we talk about the main event of the match so far. But overall, with the storyline goes, it's pretty much, just still another filler match, but adding with the briefcase too in the mix of it. So again, Strowman retaining. Yeah.
Right, Eugene.
Well, I'm going to be in agreement here. I think Strowman's going to keep the Money in the Bank briefcase. Owens, he'll try everything and anything possible to get Strowman DQ'd or counted out, but Strowman will be the smarter man and outsmart Owens and keep the briefcase, and we'll talk about the other thing later on.
Right, and very rarely does if the babyface loses by disqualification, he loses his title or briefcase in this case. Very rarely does that work out for the heel. It does happen. Christian did it a few years ago with the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
It's still possible, but it's unlikely in all likelihood. Highly unlikely in all likelihood, as Aaron Ruth would say. Next up, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Bludgeon Brothers take on the New Day. Big G, let's get your thoughts on this match and the SmackDown Tag Team.
So, the New Day are back in the tag team title hunt. I would have much rather seen the Bar or the Usos, or even, God forsake, Sanity versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say that the Bludgeon Brothers are going to retain and keep their role of dominance going on, and the New Day can just be the pancake lovers that they are and continue on with whoever. Probably they're going to feud with Sanity even still. So I'm going with the Bludgeon Brothers to retain. Cindy?
Oh, man. This is one of the matches that kind of makes me feel like, what the hell is WWE thinking? Like, at first, didn't, like, the New Day did try having kind of, like, singles competition at first, but now they're back in a tag team title picture? Like, I honestly rather have either the Usos or the Bar to be the one that's going to compete against the Bludgeon Brothers. And so I guess they're trying to have, like, a notoriety for SummerSlam, especially with New Day trying to have, like, the most tag team titles, which I know is not going to happen so far. For my pick, it's definitely going to be the Bludgeon Brothers to retain a title. And I'm going to have to agree with you, Jeff. New Day should have a feud with Sanity. And as I stated on the NXT predictions video, that for the called up, Nikki Cross is going to be called up to the main roster on SmackDown Live and possibly reuniting with Sanity. So I would like to see the feud of Sanity and New Day and adding Nikki Cross to the mix as kind of like somewhat of a manager role, while EY, Alexander Wolf, and Killing Dane will feud against Big E, Kofi, and Xavier.
Interesting. Yeah, I could see that possibility, and possibly for an 8-person tag with Nikki Cross being called up to Sanity, and possibly the recently returned to the Mae Young Classic, Caitlyn, for the New Day, because Big E and Caitlyn have a long history and they're best of friends. Yeah. So I think that would be a good fit if they decide to go that route. But I am actually going to differ from you two. I'm going to pick the New Day to win the Tag Team Championships. I've always liked the New Day, and to me, they are still entertaining on television. Do they get a lot of Tag Team Championship shots? Yes, but again, there aren't a whole lot of tag teams on each individual show. So you have to, eventually you get around to having the same matches against the same people. But let's face it, the New Day and the Usos, I believe, won Feud of the Year for No DQ last year.
Yeah.
So there is a reason for that. While people may be sick of the New Day act, in the ring, I mean, they're fire. Let's face it. They're amazing in the ring. So that's probably why they keep getting their shots. So I would not be opposed to another New Day reign, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah. So I have nothing against the New Day, but it's just, I'd like to see another team get an opportunity at the tag team titles. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure they will. I'm sure that'll come down the line, and perhaps the New Day and the Bar will have another feud. The New Day and the Usos have another feud, or the Brothers. Maybe SmackDown does tag team turmoil. We will wait and see. Coming up next, we have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. This is a match I actually like because I like both the guys in this match. A lot of people aren't sold on Baron Corbin. I've been sold on Corbin since he was in NXT. I really liked him. I think the End of Days is probably one of the best finishers in the game. And the Deep Six is a sweet move, too. And it actually picked up a victory for him on Monday Night Raw. Cindy, what are your thoughts on this match? And do we see the Demon?
Well, this is going to be another feud that still continue on, especially after Extreme Rules. Why? And I honestly feel bad for the way that WWE is booking Finn Balor as kind of like a joke of a babyface. I actually feel sorry for him so far. And then with Constable Baron Corbin getting a much heat from the crowd, it does make more sense to still have the feud continuing on. But for my pick, sorry, Greg, I'm going to have to choose with Finn Balor to get the win because he needs his credibility to gain back and still continue on, moving on to, the next feud. Hopefully, with this match, it should end the feud.
All right, Big G.
So, Balor got the win at Extreme Rules. Corbin got his win back on Raw a couple weeks later. I do enjoy both guys. Baron Corbin as a constable has been doing really good on TV. He's getting TV time. He's getting the heat as the heel and stuff like that. I love his entrance. I like his, like you said, his finisher, End of Days, and the Deep Six. Who would have thought the Deep Six would have gotten him a victory? Cindy, I know Finn Balor needs the win a lot more, but I'm going with Corbin to get this win and end this feud once and for all.
All right. And no mention of the Demon from either of you two. I think there's a possibility that the Demon shows up. I feel like Corbin will come to the ring and start cutting a promo on Balor, and then the lights will go out, and the Demon will appear, leading to Balor picking up the victory over Corbin as the Demon. This is pure speculation. Don't start getting excited. Be like, oh, the Demon's coming back. Because obviously none of us know for sure. We'd love to see the Demon back. It's been since last SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it was No Mercy with AJ, where he was the Demon last. So we'll see what happens with that. We'd love to see the Demon back at SummerSlam again, but you never know. 3 matches left, and they're all championships. Alexa Bliss defending the Raw Women's Championship against Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And you know what? People have been giving Rousey crap for, her ability to cut a promo, which I actually think is pretty solid. Again, these people with these internet opinions have never stepped foot in the ring before and have never been in front of a live crowd before, so the hell with you. I think that this match will actually be a very entertaining match. It will be very physical, obviously, with Ronda. I'm looking forward to this match, but I do think that Ronda Rousey picks up the win and becomes women's champion at SummerSlam. So, Cindy, your thoughts on the Raw side of things for the women's division?
Well, I am a huge fan of Alexa Bliss, and I know there has been a lot of mixed reaction about Alexa Bliss being the Raw champion. Raw Women's Champion, perhaps. She's doing an incredible job, with her being a heel, outsmarting every competitor she can choose from, and also her mic skill is very incredible. But the way that she booked with like other talents in competition seems to be like in a 50-50 booking so far. And regarding with Ronda, I mean, her mic skill is improving. I actually like the fact that she did a tribute promo to the late Jim the Anvil Neidhart, rest in peace, and about Natalia as well, that she knows how that she cares a lot with the other talents and especially with the crowd as well. So she's doing a lot better on the mic skills and her in-ring ability as well. Now, the way they build with the feud seems a bit lacking because you have is like a lot of like, you know, interference going on, but then there's some like, you know, Ronda being like, you know, the powerhouse, like she submitted an armbar to Mickie James, to Alicia Fox. And regarding like how it's going to turn out in a match, I mean, you guys saw how Alexa Bliss is double jointed so far, so we're going to see some like creepy stuff that's going to happen with Alexa's like dumber joint. Like, I know this it's coming into my mind like not too long ago how it's going to turn out. But for my pick is actually going to be Ronda Rousey to be the new Raw Women's Champion. And for the next feud for Ronda, if she's champion, I would like to see a feud between her and Natalia, once Natalia is coming back from, like, the sudden loss of, you know, the Anvil, her father. And it's going to be, like, more of, like, a friendly competition. I could see that match definitely happen at Evolution. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, everybody knows that Ronda Rousey is my girl. She's done well so far. She had her excellent match at WrestleMania 34 with Kurt and Triple H and Stephanie. Then she had her match against Nia Jax at Money in the Bank. Alexa came in, cashed it in, and Ronda was suspended for 30 days. And before that, she had put Alexa through the table and whatnot. She came back and lost my train of thought. Damn. Okay, so anyways, this match I think won't last, but I'm going to say 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Stop. Ronda's going to put Alexa in the arm bar. She's going to tap out. You're going to see Alexa with her double jointed elbow, like, in some weird position when she does that. And I think once Ronda does win, she'll either feud with Natty or with the heel Nia Jax. Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, you already did yours.
I already did my prediction. I don't normally go first, but for that one I did.
Yeah.
I think Rousey, I mean, she might have another defense against Alexa Bliss at Evolution. I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's still 4 months away. Plus, you know, you have to look at everybody else, not just Natalia on the Raw Women's Division. You have Sasha Banks, you have Bayley, you have Alicia Fox, who probably won't get another shot, but you know, who knows? I mean, you have Dana Brooke, who probably, again, won't get a shot. Mm-hmm. But Mickie James could possibly be a contender for Ronda Rousey. I think that would actually be a pretty good match. Again, you know, we will see how it all plays out. But we're all going with Rousey to become the new champion. Next up is a match I am looking forward to. It's a match we've seen before, but it's a match that I think we all wanted to see happen in WWE. And no, I'm not talking about Lesnar and Reigns.
Oh, God.
I am talking about the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles defending against Samoa Joe. Now, for those of you who have never watched TNA or who are unfamiliar with their work in TNA, these two, along with Christopher Daniels, put on legitimately, in my opinion, the best triple threat match to have ever happened. It's absolutely incredible what those three did. And maybe that's just because I'm a big Christopher Daniels fan. And actually, that match is what led me to that. But AJ and Joe in their singles matches tore the house down. I mean, AJ and Joe are known for being incredible workhorses, for being successful in TNA and Ring of Honor. And this match has been building for so long that I think it's going to blow the roof off of Barclays. Are they in Barclays for SummerSlam?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to blow the roof off of Brooklyn and probably send it all the way to Madison Square Garden for ROH to be like, hey, top that in April. But for this match, this was the toughest one. I don't even remember who I picked. Cindy, while my dog barks, I'm going to look for who I picked. You go first.
Okay, well, I'm very excited for this match. Like, I've been vouching for quite a while now that AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe SummerSlam for the title needs to happen, and it's finally did. With their incredible matches when they used to be in Impact Wrestling, both powerhouse guys know how to deliver the matches, especially with the current storyline goes where Samoa Joe is talking crap about AJ's family, how AJ is like an absentee father / husband to his family, and how AJ's trying to show Joe that, his family does matter. And so with this whole storyline goes, it's by far amazing. Agree with you, Greg. This is going to be one of the match of the night. For me, this will be another one because I said about Daniel Bryan versus The Miz as match for the night, but AJ versus Joe will top it all off. And for my pick, and I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a title switch, you guys. My pick is actually going to be Samoa Joe to be the new WWE champion. And that's going to be his first title since his main roster debut. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago. My mind has been fuzzy a little bit. But
after 2017 Royal Rumble.
Yup. And so I would like to see Samoa Joe still holding on to that title and then still having a continued feud with AJ Styles in the long run. So Samoa Joe as the new WWE champion. That's my pick.
All right, Big G.
I'm going to disagree with you, Cindy. I think AJ is going to retain the WWE title and continue his long reign like Mr. Greg Cherry there. This will be a good match. The chemistry is amazing between these two, like you said, Greg, dating back to TNA or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. So I'm sticking with Styles to retain the WWE title.
Right. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with long championship reigns, 159 days. And I think that I agree with you, Big G. I think AJ is going to retain in this one. As much as I wouldn't mind seeing a Samoa Joe title run, I think AJ is going to somehow pull it out. And this is one of those matches that doesn't really need a storyline. You just know the two participants in it, and it's like, you don't even need a storyline. Like, they could, not say anything to each other for 4 weeks, and you put those two in the ring together, I'm perfectly fine with it. You don't need any build-up for me. But, I mean, it's WWE. You have to have a build-up of some kind. So that's what they went with, and it doesn't matter to me. The storyline, I just want to see AJ and Joe go at it at SummerSlam. Finally, and I'm not saying finally as in we get to see this match again. I'm saying finally this is the last match on the card. Likely. I can't imagine they're going with anything else. It's going to be Brock Lesnar defending his Universal Championship against Roman Reigns for the 4th or 5th time since he's been champion. Well, I think the WWE was one of them. The Universal's been the last 4. He defended against Reigns and Strowman and Joe last year at SummerSlam. Then WrestleMania against Reigns and the Greatest Royal Rumble against Reigns. And this is Roman Reigns' 4th attempt to win the Universal title from Brock Lesnar, not including his matches against Kevin Owens. So, Big G, I'm going to let you start this one off. How excited are you to see Lesnar Reigns? Whatever this is, 4 or 5. I don't think.
I'm so excited. Yeah, freaking right. I'm going. I really don't care about the storyline because it's the same thing. Roman is always going to be the underdog. People are going to hate Lesnar. They always hate everybody. No, I'm so excited.
So excited. Don't even want to see it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I don't want to see it. I'm going just to go out of the blue here, I'm going with Reigns winning it and Strowman cashing in and beating Reigns.
All right, Cindy.
Well, I'm just gonna go cut to the chase. Well, in one particular storyline, you know that Brock Lesnar, quote unquote, fired Paul Heyman already, so now Paul Heyman has no clients. But I could see that there's possibly gonna be a tad interference with Paul Heyman, just adding to the mix of it. But I know it's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna go cut to my chase. My pick. Virtue's gonna like it. I'm choosing Roman to beat Lesnar and being the new Universal Champion. And regarding with if Braun Strowman cashing in his contract, my gut feeling said yes, but my heart, I feel that he's probably going to be cashing in his contract, I would say, after SummerSlam, but on Monday Night Raw. Or I could see it like also in like the long run as well. So again, Roman beating Lesnar, being the Universal Champion, and Braun holding on to the contract until the time is right. So yeah.
And I'm going with the most likely WWE scenario just because G went for Reigns and a cash-in from Strowman. Cindy went with Reigns and no cash-in. I am going with Lesnar and no cash-in. Just to be like, oh, we're waiting for Strowman. And then he just doesn't show up and the show goes off the air with Lesnar still Universal Champion. But it'll be okay. Reigns and Lesnar, 5 or 6 will happen in Survivor Series and we'll just get it there.
Oh, God.
I have this feeling like they're going to be like, Reigns, he should have won. Let's try in Los Angeles. It didn't work in New York. Let's try in L.A.
Oh, God, yeah. I could see that happening,
in the
too.
Survivor Series, if you see Reigns versus, well, you might not because that's like Raw versus SmackDown if they keep that gimmick up. Yeah. So I'm going with Lesnar and no cash-in and possibly a cash-in the next night on Raw with Lesnar celebrating, be like, haha, I beat Reigns again, and then Strowman cashes in after Reigns beats him up or something. Yeah. All right, so that is all for our SummerSlam predictions. Big G, your plugs.
Well, NoDQ.com/Jeff will take you to my Twitter page. You can follow me on Instagram at NoDQ.com_Big G. I'm on Facebook as well. Go to NoDQ.com/shirts. Everybody has a shirt. You can go to Pro Wrestling Tees. Greg has his shirts there as well. Check me and Virtue out every Tuesday night on Facebook Live. And that is it for the Big G. Cindy.
You guys can follow me at nodq.com/Cindy. That's going to take you directly to Twitter. Also, make sure to follow me at simply_C_OK on Instagram and my personal YouTube channel, as well as my second YouTube channel with 2 of my bros, Bryan and Tyler, which our YouTube channel is Tyson Poppy Production. And yeah, and to you, Wrestling Trivia Champion.
Yes, Wrestling Trivia Challenge coming up this week. Before SummerSlam and before NXT TakeOver, it is Greg Cherry defending his championship against the owner of NoDQ.com, Mr. Aaron Rift, in a match that will surely be one for the ages. You can follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation, NoDQ.com/Greg. Can take you there. I have a YouTube channel too. I don't use it for wrestling stuff much. YouTube.com/Luck of the Draw, which is my game show. And there's also backyard wrestling videos of me from 15 years ago.
Nice.
If you want to check those out and make fun of how terrible I was, go ahead and go do that. Subscribe to the channel. I'm sure I'll be uploading a lot more. And I think that's it for me. That's it for Cindy. That's it for Big G. Keep following us here on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel for more. And we will see you guys this Sunday for SummerSlam.
Cheers, y'all.